Hey guys, Mike Hedlesky here. Just getting through some of these Q&A questions again. Happy Mother's Day, first of all. It is sometime on Sunday morning, whatever today is. I don't know. I know it's Mother's Day. I don't know what day it is anymore, actually. So here we go. I'm just going to jump right into it. Got a bunch of questions to get to still. Dave asks, what is the purpose of accommodated resistance, and how can it help with increasing bench press and squat max? Just the general way of thinking about accommodated resistance is you know every lift you start it basically in a mechanically advantaged position for the most part, except for like lifts that don't have an eccentric portion like deadlifts, clean, stuff like that. But like you asked specifically squat and bench press, both of those lifts start locked out. Bars at the completion part. You're going to return it back to that start position. So mechanically advantaged position, bring the bar down, squat down into the hole, bring the bar to the chest. Now you are in a mechanically disadvantaged position. So what the technical definition of what accommodated resistance does is it accommodates the force curve and stuff like that. But I think more so what it does is it accommodates a force posture curve. So basically from that press off the chest or that push out of the hole, you're going from your mechanically disadvantaged position to your mechanically advantaged position. So when you watch people fail a heavy squat or heavy deadlift, unless it's just way too much fucking weight and they get buried, most of the time they miss it halfway up or 3/4 of the way up. It doesn't make sense if you're thinking of it in terms of common sense, because you're going from your disadvantaged position to your advantaged position. All the way, like you're getting better leverage as the lift goes up. So why do people fail halfway, 3/4 of the way up after it's out of the hardest part of the lift? Well, it's because we get used to just straight weights, and we get used to just the force production required to get it moving, and then we fail halfway up because we can't generate the speed needed to keep it going, then we can't continue generating the force needed after it's pressed off the chest or out of the hole or whatever. So accommodated resistance means adding bands, chains, or just using compensatory acceleration methods, something like that, to make it so that mechanically disadvantaged position is the lightest part of the lift. So if you're using bands, that's the least amount of stretch. If you're using chains, all the chains are deloaded on the floor, and then as the bar is pressed back up or squatted out of the hole, band increases tension, chains get lifted up off the floor, and it makes it harder to teach you to keep pressing and keep pressing fast through the entire movement. So how can it help increasing bench press and squat max? It helps with that force posture curve. It teaches you to keep moving fast. I know Dave coaches a lot of athletes, so in terms of that, really this stuff's awesome. This stuff's great for athletes. Anyone that plays a team sport. Anyone that needs lots of force production, like force generation in a short period of time, which is every single fucking person who plays a sport on earth. So there's a lot of good benefits for that. As far as powerlifting and stuff, everything has its place. Everything works for a short time. Nothing works forever. I'm a big fan of like the West Side conjugate training stuff. That's actually what I've been doing for the last 5 years, 5 or so years, and gotten pretty strong off of it, even as primarily a raw lifter. Even though a lot of people talk shit about that, it's just mostly because they don't understand it, I think. But because like the dynamic efforts, the accommodated resistance and stuff, it's not always fucking 12 sets of 2 at 50% year round. There's different shit you got to do in there. But yeah, there's a progression to things. Who would have thought? But yeah, I mean that's the gist of it. So hopefully that helped answer your question a little bit. It's kind of a general answer. Trying to keep this video under 20 minutes, though, so I'm just doing the best I can. Taylor asks, per your questions, best bourbon for summer versus winter. This is a trick question because the answer is always Maker's Mark. And if you're not drinking Maker's Mark and you're drinking bourbon, you're a psychopath. So a good summer bourbon drink, if you're sitting on your porch, got your straw hat on, you're chewing on a long stalk of grain you just picked out of the fields after a long day at harvesting, I don't know, whatever the hell you do. What you want to do is you want to put some ice in a glass, you want to put some bourbon in a glass, then you want to put some cranberry juice in the glass. I call this a Hedlesky lemonade. So then what you do is you sit on that porch and you drink it, and you just enjoy the lovely weather. It's a nice, cool, refreshing drink. Very good for summertime, wintertime. You just need a glass and about a fifth of Maker's Mark, and you just keep filling the glass, and you keep emptying it until that fifth of Maker's Mark is gone. Now, this is going to accomplish a couple things. That room temperature bourbon goes down pretty smooth, especially when it's cold out. Save on your electric bill a little bit because you get really drunk and pass out and forget to turn your heat on. So there you go, and then the alcohol kind of drops your body temperature, so you won't freeze to death because you'll be more acclimated to your surroundings, and it'll keep you nice and tight during the cold winter months. Good question. Rebecca asks, why are you so strunk? But for serious, what sorts of adjustments to programming, if any, would you tend to suggest for relatively new lifters who are older, say 40 plus? And is there a female equivalent for the boost in gains induced by a beard, like maybe awesome socks? That's awesome. As far as new lifters who are older, any adjustments in programming? Any new lifter needs to be doing the same stuff. They're new. They don't know how to do anything. I don't care if they walk in and squat 700 pounds the first time they ever put a bar on their back. They still suck at it. They don't have training experience. There's a certain muscle maturity thing that happens over time that you need in order to consistently keep lifting heavy stuff. Just because you can do it once or twice the first couple times you go in. I mean, there's the brightest star burns out the fastest, and we see this shit on the internet all the time where some kid puts up a video. He's like, oh, how's my 900-pound deadlift look? Oh, that's awesome. Do a meet. Oh, I can't. I'm hurt all the time now. So, it's just it needs to start slow. There needs to be a progression. It needs to be general, extremely, extremely general when you start. You still be doing the main lifts and everything, but it should be a shitload of volume. It should be a lot of conditioning, just whatever you got time for. Sled dragging, get on a rower, it doesn't matter. As far as someone being older, the only real difference is a lot more injury prevention stuff, a lot more joint specific work. Because the difference between a 10-year-old just starting and a 40-year-old just starting is there's 40 years of wear and tear on someone's body already. So that's definitely something you need to be taken into account. Definitely part of that general physical preparedness when they're getting started should be lots of soft tissue work, tons of it. Just like I said, they're going to be all yoked up in there. So definitely injury prevention for an older strength athlete that wants to get started in this stuff. And the progression should be the same, slow, lots of general physical preparedness, lots of conditioning, stuff like that, and then slowly progress into heavier training. But it should be months before someone tries a heavy weight, and no one has that kind of patience, so no one wants to hear that shit. But if you want to do it the right way, and that's how you fucking do it, and no one's gonna do it. But that's my answer. Is there a female equivalent for the boost in gains induced by a beard, like maybe awesome socks? Yes. What you need to do is you need to get a pair of socks that advertise your favorite cut of meat on it. So if you can find a nice pair knee-high, ribeye socks, you're good to go. But really, the best way to go about for a female equivalent in the boost in gains induced by a beard is just grow a beard. Grow a nice thick, solid lady beard. Just don't even worry about it, because there is no substitute for a thick, solid lady beard. All right, next question. William asks, for the Q&A, how does your training nutrition vary when an illness/serious injury is a factor? Is there any particular way, to train around things or take the foot off the gas? As far as illness, fucking deal with it. If you're not dying, if you are not just shitting every ounce of your soul and being out of your mouth, you should be able to suck it up and still go train anyway. That shouldn't affect anything. If you have a sinus infection or something, or if you got a sore throat or even a low grade fever, it's just go fucking do it. Stop pussing around about it. And then if you got something serious going on, like pneumonia or some kind of viral infection, or you're just wrapped around a toilet all day, then take the day off. It's not going to really affect anything. You need to get better. As far as how would nutrition vary when you have like a serious illness like that, I mean, you need to like be taking powdered Gatorade by the spoonful and just like doing lines of it off a table or something. Just something to keep electrolytes up, because that's the biggest thing when people get sick to the point where they are, evacuating bowels on a regular basis. Other than that, like I said, any other kind of illness, I mean, suck it up. Just go do it. There's no reason to not go train just because you don't feel good. Like you're the only person that cares, and the only person it's affecting with your weights and your training anyway is you. So just go get it done. So as far as a serious injury, I mean, everyone's going to get banged up, like nicks and cuts and aches and pains and stuff. If anyone doing this stuff for a long enough period of time isn't hurt at some point, they're lying. They're not doing it very hard. So any particular way to train around things, I mean, you will know what you can handle, what you can do. I know, if something's really messed up, go see a doctor. If lifting is making something worse, go see a doctor. Go get some physical therapy, get it done right. I know for me, I've broken my hand. I've had a bunch of surgeries on my ankle. I don't think I took more than 2 days off, even after I even had a hernia repair and right above my belly button, and there was still stuff I could do. I mean, you find a way, work around it. I mean, if you got a broken arm, you can still squat, you can still leg press. You could still do one-arm deadlifts. Figure the shit out. I mean, if you break your leg, you can still bench. There are ways to get around anything if you want to. If you want to sit around and make excuses and be all fucked up, that's fine too. It's your decision. But find a way or get some help. Don't be a big meathead about it. If you got some problem that if you got to take a month off of doing some kind of movement, and that's going to mean you can get back into it, keep working, getting stronger, as opposed to pushing it really hard, doing something really messed up, and then being out for 8 months. That's stupid. So be smart. Something's bothering you, get it checked out. All right, last question today, perhaps. All right, 2 more. Here's a good one next. Jack DeBenedetto from the Brick House asks, what is the most effective way you have found that builds a big pull in one training cycle? Meaning, is it rep work or singles? And at the end of that cycle, how much wood would that allow a woodchuck to chuck? All right, so as far as one, if this is like a peaking cycle, getting ready for a meet, I assume that's what you're asking about. It would be singles, heavy singles with like super, super heavy weight, like over 90% for a lot. So, I mean, everything's got to have a progression. The gains made with volume are going to be much more stable. That's why every program starts with higher volume. Any program is worth a shit anyway. It goes from higher volume with lower percentages, lower weight, to lower volume with higher percentages, higher weight, and stuff like that. Because then you're actually building muscular strength. This is like a physiological thing. You're building muscular strength with higher volumes. And the residual training effects of that last a whole lot longer than those heavy singles when you get down to dropping that volume. All really heavy singles work on, you're not getting bigger. You're not building muscle when you just do nothing but singles. It's a neurological effect. You're building a neurological efficiency for a certain given movement, and the residual training effects of that are much, much shorter and much less stable. So that's why... if you were to go pull over 90% for 2 straight weeks and then max out, I guarantee your deadlift goes up. But then if you were to do that again for another 2 weeks and try it again, I guarantee you that you would not be able to pull as much as you did at the end of that first 2 weeks, just because you get tired. Like I said, your neurological systems get all messed up. So hopefully that answered that question. And at the end of that cycle, how much would that allow a woodchuck to chuck? Hopefully a fucking 800-pound deadlift. Good question. McLean Ruska, sweet name, asks, have you ever sat on your balls while doing box squats? Yep, it sucks, so try not to do it. All right, that's all I got for you today. I only had a couple minutes to kill. A little bit shorter than the last video. Hopefully this was helpful. Keep asking questions and keep getting stuff in. So like I said, as long as I keep getting questions, I'll keep doing this stuff. Thanks again for watching. Happy Mother's Day. Go do something nice for your mommies. Bye.